Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCollum, and today we have a very special pistol to take a look at. This is the new Laugo Alien. This is the Creator 500 series. It is a limited edition of 500 Laugo Aliens being released in the US with a couple of changes made from the original production version. Now, the Laugo, since it first came out at SHOT Show a number of years ago, has been one of my very favorite pistols ever. I really appreciate I think the innovation that went into this design, and that's something I don't say lightly because there are a lot of new pistols out there on a fairly regular basis, and they all talk about being innovative and new, and most of them are not innovative and new. And the Laugo really was a substantially different, very interesting, and to my mind, very effective combination of features. The single biggest complaint that people had about the original Laugo Aliens was the grip angle. So the original Alien here has very much a Glock or a Luger style of grip angle. It's a fairly steep grip, and what you tend to do is you bring it up on target and then pivot it down until the sights, or the dot in this case, line up, and then you can start shooting. This is an intuitive, effective grip for some people, but a lot of American shooters in particular were much more practiced on a sort of more of a 1911 style of grip angle, and they really wanted that with the benefits of the Alien, and so that's what Laugo Arms went ahead and did. The primary difference, there are two main differences with this new Creator model and the original Aliens. They are the grip angle and the construction of the grip itself, which is now substantially modular. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at that, and I'll show you how the Alien works in general if you haven't seen it already. So as a limited Creator edition, these things ship as a whole case. Inside there, you got all sorts of stuff. So we have the pistol, of course, empty. And we've got 3 of its 17-round magazines. These, by the way, are completely interchangeable with the magazines from the earlier original Laugo Aliens, which is, I would say, an obvious thing that you ought to do, but you know, sometimes companies do dumb things. It's brilliant of them, it's essential of them to keep the magazines interchangeable, and they did. We have a replacement top strap. I'll show you how this goes on in a moment. This one comes set up with a red dot. I believe this is a Polish made from Delta, I think. And then of course you've got the iron sight top strap that comes installed on the gun. We've got a spare pair of thin grip panels. We've got a secondary back strap that can be installed. We'll take a look at that as well. You've got a competition magazine well, which is a little bigger and more flared than the standard one. Some carbon remover and cleaning stuff. You've got tools here. This is for scraping out the gas piston, screwdrivers for taking it apart, and they actually come with a competition style, pretty slick holster. My one complaint here is that this is a right-handed holster. The company does make left-handed ones, and I think you can actually get a left-handed one off of Laugo's site, but if you get the Creator Edition, you're getting a right-handed holster with it. Just give you a quick comparison here. This is an original standard Alien. This is the new Creator 500. You can't tell that many differences. Now, I have the red dot slide on this one. I have the irons on this one. I also went ahead and got some really cool fancy custom grips from gungrips.org for my original Alien. They are not making grips for the new Creators yet, but I hope that at some point they will because I really like these. That said, the Creator comes with these really cool carbon fiber grip panels that look really nice on their own anyway. Now, the big thing that changed here was the grip. You can sort of see that, but fundamentally, because the magazine well remains unchanged, what they essentially did to redesign this grip to be a steeper, or a shallower, I suppose, angle, is to build up the back strap of it here a bit. So the pistol pushes back into the back strap here more than it used to. The early versions, you can dig your grip in deeper here, and it tends to ride a little higher like that. Or, I mean, you hold your wrist straight. You know, this is just a personal habit thing, but they discovered that a lot of the American shooters have a personal habit that lends itself to a more 1911-like grip angle. If we take a quick look at the markings here, we have Laugo Arms Czechoslovakia, which, yes, it does not exist as a country anymore, but The design team really liked it, and so despite the fact that they are in fact located in the Czech Republic, they went ahead and called the company Laugo Arms Czechoslovakia. The importer here is Laugo Arms USA. We'll talk about that in a minute. Got caliber, serial number, and European proof there on the barrel. Got your serial number on the underside. There's the actual manufacturer's mark, made in Czech Republic. And then we have Alien, Creator Edition USA 500, and notice instead of the E, they have an American flag, and also an American flag on the opposite side of the slide. Color-wise, the new Creator is a little bit of a lighter gray than the original Alien, and it has what they call rose gold highlights for things like the slide stop, the magazine release, and the trigger, and the mag well. Fundamentally, what the Alien is designed to do is put repeat shots on target as quickly as possible. And so there are a number of factors that were very specifically put into this gun to facilitate that. And the first, the most obvious, is the low bore axis. When you're shooting, the barrel is actually below the web of your hand. This is something that's not really possible on Browning tilting barrel pistols because the barrel has to tilt down and there has to be space in the frame for it. The Alien is a fixed barrel, gas-delayed blowback action. We'll take it apart in just a moment. But what this means is that it doesn't reduce recoil because you have the same amount of energy being generated by the cartridge, but instead of that recoil tending to push the pistol up, it tends to push the pistol back into your hand. Is it perfectly flat? Will it not climb at all? No. All pistols will climb unless you've got a weird Margolin thing with the barrel on the very bottom under the grip. But with practice and acclimatization, this is going to be the flattest shooting style of design that you can do. Now, in order to facilitate fast, accurate shooting, it's also a single action trigger. So it's not striker fired, it is hammer fired. The hammer's inside the slide in a really clever setup. And the trigger press is phenomenally good. We have a trigger safety and then just a slight bit of first stage take up and then a very nice light crisp break. This really is a tuned 1911 feel of trigger, not a striker-fired trigger at all. The Alien is a high-performance, very expensive pistol, and so a lot of people assume that it must be very complex. Well, one of the coolest things about the Alien, design-wise, technologically, is that it's actually really remarkably simple. So to disassemble it, I'm going to pull this pin out from the top strap, and I'm just going to push the top strap forward. There we go, that clicks off. It's got a nice tight fit because that's what your optic or iron sights are mounted to. And it does have a repeatable zero, so you put that back on, you don't have to adjust the zero. This is actually the hammer, so that's it cocked. And when I pull the trigger, what I'm doing is pushing this transfer bar up, just like that. That transfer bar is going to push up on the sear right here, which pushes up like that and releases the hammer to swing down from the top and hit the firing pin right above my finger right there. There are two more steps to disassembly here. One is to take out the slide, lift that up, slide comes out, and a lot of the mass in the slide is biased downward into the frame, almost below the barrel. And then our final step is to take out the recoil spring and gas piston. Now, you may have noticed that the reciprocating part of the slide here is not the part that has the sights on it. That's really the third really cool feature of the Alien, is that the sights are fixed. And that's one thing for iron sights. Like, yeah, it's going to make it a little easier to track your sights because they're not moving on a slide. But for optics, I think this makes a really big difference because not only does your dot not move as the pistol moves, but it means you're not putting all of that G-force on the pistol from having the optic on a slide that's slinging back and forth at very high velocity every time you fire a shot. And now that's it for field stripping. The way this works as a gas delay system is that there is a gas port in the barrel, right here, just in front of the chamber. We have a gas piston. The cylinder is right there. The piston itself is obviously right here. These sit above the barrel, and when you fire, this piston, or this chamber, is pressurized with gas from the cartridge, and that pushes it forward, working actually with the recoil spring. Now, the moment you fire, the recoil energy is going to try to start pushing the slide backwards, but it's not going to be able to move very fast at all until the bullet has left the barrel And then all the gas pressure in the barrel and the piston cylinder can dissipate out the muzzle, now the bullet's gone. And so once the bullet's gone, pressure has dropped to a safe level, then you get the slide reciprocating backwards like this. This, of course, allows you to have a pistol with a fixed barrel. That's great for accuracy. It's also one of the things that allows the gun to have such a low bore axis, because the barrel doesn't have to move anywhere. On your Browning-style pistols, that barrel has to tilt down in order to unlock and cycle with each shot, and that takes space. And that's all you've got to this thing. It's incredibly simple mechanically. Let's go into the new modular grip assembly here. We've got one torque screw at the back of the grip. Pull that out, and then the mag well slides out. So this just goes in here, locks forward, and that locks all the other components in. And again, if you want a bigger one, there we go. You put in the bigger one, the competition mag well, and just put the screw back in. What we're going to do here instead is slide off the rear strap, the back strap, and the front strap right there, and then we can lift off our grip panels, and voila, there is the naked inside frame. So now if I want to put in the smaller back strap here, I can just drop it on there, slide it up and in, and the same goes for the thinner grip panels. These things are very, very thin. You'll notice there's a little tab here. There are actually 3 little rubber washers that sit in there to, I don't know exactly why they've got those in there. I guess just to keep the grips from scraping, to keep everything nice and tight against the side of the frame. But then there's also a little square tab right there that locks into that notch. So Laugo seems to be pretty well committed to the US market at this point. Obviously they're supporting sales in Europe, but when they first brought the pistols into the US, they were being brought in by Lancer, acting as a third-party importer. Laugo has now actually established a branch, a Laugo Arms USA, to act as not just importer, but a domestic American sales company that has parts, that has aftermarket support, that works directly with Laugo in the Czech Republic, basically for customer support post-purchase. And it's nice to see that expansion. If the American flag on the slide didn't give it away, this thing with its grip angle as well is really something that's highlighted for the American shooting community. Obviously, we have a huge community, a huge market for firearms compared to most of the rest of the world. But I'm pretty excited to see Laugo stepping up to that market more significantly. So we'll see what's yet to come. I'm sure they will have additional grip elements. They made it modular for a reason. Certainly different colors, and I'm sure different sizes as well are on the list to be produced and brought into the US. You know, when you get to a pistol of this expense, it is, by the way, $7,000 retail for the Creator Edition, people get more interested in some of the aesthetic elements as well as the mechanical and technical and other ones. And so I'm sure we'll see different styles and colors of grip and all that sort of stuff. But for the time being, there are still Creator Edition pistols available, or at least there were when I recorded this. The new American style grip angle will be coming as a standard pistol product, but I don't know exactly when, and it's not available as such yet. So if you're looking at Aliens on the Laugo Arms, Laugo USA website, and you see the standard and the retro, those are both the earlier pattern with, where did I put it down here? With, there it is, the sharper grip angle. So if that's what you want, that's the pistol for you. If you want the new grip angle, that's going to be a limited edition one, or wait until they have these as standard products. Anyway, we're going to be doing a video a little later on with this out at the range because it is super fun to shoot. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.